The time is 7:30 in the morning time on this Monday. Morning, August the 17th, 2020 on this Monday morning. Peter Channel Morning News on this Monday morning, August 17th, 2020. Good morning to y'all. This lovely Monday morning, August 17th, 2020. 64 degrees in Norton, Massachusetts at 7:31. Top stories on the Peter Channel Morning News at 7:31 is as Democrats prepare to nominate Joe Biden, widespread fears about unfair election. Several states considered legal action against the Trump administration over USPS and mail-in voting. Monday at the DNC, senators and Kasich to speak as Democrats look to unite both sides of the aisle. Belarus protests, workers boo Lukashenko as election unrest spreads. Violent clashes erupt between far-right groups and racial justice protesters in Portland and other cities. COVID-19 will hit colleges when students back for fall semester, so why open at all? At least 22 cars broken in overnight in Dover, Massachusetts. Hottest temperature on Earth as Death Valley, U.S. and California hit 130 degrees, potentially Earth's highest temperature since at least 1931. New Zealand's northern postpones election as coronavirus flares up. Protests grow in Thailand, where speaking out could be perilous. In Boston, welcome centers will open Monday for Boston Public Schools for families for in-person services and school registration. Boston officially filed its back-to-school options with the state on Friday. The city is allowing parents to choose from 3 learning options, putting in everything except a complete in-person return to the class on the table. These options include a hybrid option with a 2 in-person learning days. Students with significant learning needs are offered 3 or 4 in-person days. There's also a fully remote option for parents who do not want their kids back in their classroom yet. Families will get surveys this week asking what option they will prefer, as school is expected to start in Boston on September 21st, pending state approval. All appointments at Boston State of the Boston School Welcome Centers are by appointment only. On Sunday, public health officials reported 303 new cases of COVID-19 in Massachusetts and 11 deaths. The Commonwealth has now tested more than 1.4 million people for the virus. The number of patients hospitalized with the virus has been dropping during the past few days. There are 372 patients being treated as of Sunday, with 26 patients being released over the weekend. New CDC data suggests more than children are testing positive for the virus, while adult cases are more severe and more prevalent. The agency said it was a steady increase in infections from March to July in children. Children between ages 5 and 17 had the highest positive test rates. Peter Chill News Time is 7:34. Australia's consumer watchdog says open letter from Google contains misinformation. Japan's economy shrinks at record pace as pandemic wipes out economic gains. Pandemic electric bills are searing hot as families stay home. Looking at stocks today, up 34.30 points at 27.31.02. S&P 500 down 58 cents at 3372.85, and Nasdaq down 23.20 at $11.19.38. Coronavirus in Oregon, 252 new cases and 2 deaths. And now, taking a look at news from the wires. Britain on Monday said it rejected the results of the controversial election, warning to impose sanctions against those responsible. Japan's GDP shrinks at record 27.8% in quarter 2 amid pandemic. South Korea struggles to contain surging COVID-19 cases tied to churches. Australia reports most COVID deaths, and New Zealand delays elections. Driver Yoke Theater moves out. Deaths of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor lead to increased interest in race-related books in the Attleboro area. Norfolk lawmakers say Baker's COVID restrictions are a slippery slope. In Norton, the town could be moved to a town council and losing its town meeting as November did the past year. They're among the recommendations of the Charter Commission that has developed a preliminary new charter, which is outlined with a blueprint for the town government. 2 public sessions are scheduled this week to present the proposal and gather more feedbacks. The recommendations follow a 16-month-long study of local government that included a public hearing and a survey of residents, town officials, and employees. Under the plan, the 5-member select board will be eliminated, and a 7-member elected town council will become the town's legislative branch to replace the town meeting. The town manager would gain more authority over town departments and appoint members of committees and boards and perform other executive duties that are undertaken by the select board members. Also, the Department of Public Works would be created, limited and elected by the controversial Water Sewer Commission, with the town council serving as a board of public works. The council would also place the finance committee, and the elected housing authority would become appointed. A majority of the residents who gave input want to see a change from the town meeting, contending it's not accessible to everyone and delays important decisions, the commission said in its report. More planning is also desired. The great majority of our time has been spent listening to the recommendations address specific concerns of the community, the Charter Commission said. The 3 most consistent areas of concern were communication, accountability, and transparency. The proposed changes would modernize town government, provide a more efficient, more representative form of government than Charter Commission says. The new charter, which the Commission calls a framework for the town in order that we feel best serves the needs of the citizen, would have to be approved by residents at next April's town election. A final charter proposal is expected to be prepared by mid-October. We believe our recommended changes will energize voters to become more involved and increase overall citizen participation. We have proposed a significant change in the way that Norton does business, provide services in which preserve and expand opportunities for the citizen participation, the Commission said. Attendees are strongly encouraged to participate virtually and possibly at both public sessions this weekend. The first session, which is virtual only, is at 7 p.m. on Monday, August 17th, and the second session is scheduled for 9 a.m. on Saturday, August 22nd, at the park adjacent to the library at 68 East Main Street. Attendees at the session will be required to wear masks and maintain appropriate social distance. They also have to bring their own chairs. And the 9-member Charter Commission was elected at the town election last year. Peter Channel News Time, 7:38. Brockton's COVID death toll could be 40% higher as the city's official tally is 277, but in April and May alone, Brockton saw 391 more deaths than it does in the average year. Counting the death toll is critical to understand the danger of any infectious disease. So important that during the COVID-19 pandemic, coroners have sometimes ordered viral tests for people who have already passed away. Interaction with peers are crucial for a child's social development, experts say. Peter Chill News Time is 7:39. Sports time. The Boston Red Sox losing streak reaches an unlucky 7 as they fall to the New York Yankees 4-2. Sox and Yankees go at it at 30 p.m. at 7 o'clock at the Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Chase Elliott holds off Denning Hamlin, captures his third Cup Series win on Daytona Road course. And the Cleveland Indians prepare for unique trade deadline. Peter Chill News Time, 7:40. Time now for Peter Chill traffic and transit check on this Monday morning. On the MBTA subway system, looking good. Commuter rail, Pittsburgh line train 7401, 6 a.m. from North Station is stopped by Shirley, and it's 15 minutes behind schedule due to freight train traffic in Pittsburgh line train 7406, 6 a.m. from Massachusetts by 10 minutes behind schedule between Aaron and North Station and Very safe, looking good. And take a look at the highways and byways in New England and the Newport Bridge on the eastbound side. A little bit slow. Route 4 to the southbound side. A little bit slow around the North Kingston stretch around 138. 95 the northbound side. A little bit slow around 128 out in Canton. Southeast Massachusetts and Cape Cod highways are looking good. Out of Boston vicinity, Southeast Expressway on the northbound side. A little bit slow between West Quincy and all the way down to Worcester Boulevard and Dorchester. 93 on the northbound side, a little bit slower on the southern end of the Tiffany Tunnel on the northbound side of 93 after the bank in Boston. Route 1 on the southbound side, a little bit slower on Route 16 in Everett. And up in northern New England, Route 3 to the southbound side, a little bit slower on 128 out in Burlington. 95 on the southbound side, a little bit slower on Route 1 out in Peabody. 495, looking good from Amesbury all the way down to Wareham. Central Mass 190 on the northbound side, a little bit slow around the West Boylston stretch. And 395 on the southbound side, a little bit slow after Route 20 in Auburn. 291 on the northbound side, a little bit slow on the Mass Pike in Springfield. 91 northbound side, a little bit slow on the Hadley stretch. Mass Pike eastbound side, a little slow after Route 20 out in Lee, Massachusetts. Route 2 eastbound side, a little slow around the Acton stretch. Merritt Parkway westbound side, a little bit slow between Bridgeport down to Norwalk. 95 on the southbound side, a little bit slow between Fairfield all the way down to Stamford. And up in northern New England, 393.95, looking good from the Granite State, except a little bit slow around Route 95 on the northbound side, a little slow around 101 in Northampton. New Hampshire tolls, Route 89 southbound side, a little slow around Warner, New Hampshire. And look at that Maine Turnpike. It's looking good from Kittery down to Augusta. 95 on the northbound side, a little bit slow around Old Town, Maine. 95 on the southbound side, a little slow around Old Town, Maine. And Vermont looking good. Peter Chill News Time, 7:43. Time now for a weather report. And it is a cloudy start to your morning. And take a look at the tropics. A fast-moving tropical wave is located at a couple of hundred miles east of the Windward Islands. Continues to be produced this one shower and thunderstorm activity. This surface is expected to move westward about 20 miles an hour during the next few days, and that fast forward speed is likely to limit significant development while the system approaches the Windward and southern Leeward Islands today. It moves across the eastern Caribbean Sea on Tuesday and Wednesday after that time. However, the system is expected to move more slowly westward across the Western Caribbean Sea, where upper-level winds could become more collective for the development of a tropical depression during the latter part of the weekend. Regardless of the development, locally heavy rainfall and gusty winds are expected over portions of the Windward and southern Leeward Islands beginning today through Tuesday morning. And formation chance for 4 hours, low 20%, formation chance in 5 days, medium 50%. And disturbance number 2, another tropical wave located over the eastern tropical Atlantic to the southwest of the Cabo Verde Islands is producing this one as cloudiness and showers, and the wave is forecast to move westward to the west-northwestward at 15-20 miles an hour during the next few days, and environmental conditions are expected to become more conducive in the development of a tropical depression during the middle part of the week while the tropical system moves across the central and western portion of the tropical Atlantic. Okay, looking at the radar shows light band rain northeast of Provincetown, Massachusetts, but otherwise a cloudy start to your morning as it'll be. Looking at the forecast discussion, today should feature mainly dry weather, but an upper level disturbance will bring around the scattered showers and perhaps embedded thunderstorms this evening and overnight hours. And mainly dry and pleasant weather is on tap for the wind region from Tuesday, but at the end of the work weekend, warmer, more humid weather should return for the weekend with perhaps a random scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms are not expected to wash out. And near-term forecasts, scattered showers and a few thunderstorms developing over western Massachusetts connected by early this evening, and another day of high surf advisories for east face and ocean exposed coastlines due to elevated seas and rip risk. There is just a little bit of a spotty mist and drizzle across parts of the southeast Massachusetts early this morning, We should see most of the sun end by mid-morning and drive wherever should prevail for the most of the day. Buffett, sun and shine will mix up at the 9 millibars and forecast 925 millibars. Temperature range around 14 Celsius over eastern Massachusetts, 17 Celsius over the Connecticut River Valley. So with plenty of low-level moisture around and expect plenty of clouds, but perhaps mixed with some sunshine, especially across western Massachusetts, Connecticut, and overall expect highs in the low to mid 70s for eastern Massachusetts and the low 80s in western Massachusetts, Connecticut, and low to mid 70s for eastern Massachusetts and rain chances increase by the early evening as across western Massachusetts, Connecticut, along the cold front as instability fields look modest with around 501,000 JKG of surface cape for the western zones and mid-level left rates look modestly initially at around 5.5 Celsius kilometers, but low-level left rates increase between 7.5 to 8 Celsius kilometers and King index notes to increase in the mid-30s, so the potential is there for a thunderstorm with a cold front passage and discussion for the overnight thunderstorm continue in the short-term section. Okay, forecast goes like this. It's gonna be mostly cloudy with a low end for today. Mostly cloudy, how about 75 degrees and north about 8 mile an hour gust size, 21 mile an hour for tonight. A chip to showers may after 1 a.m. Mostly cloudy with 62 degrees and east about 5 miles an hour coming a light and variable in the evening, just to 50% and do a rain marks between the less than 10 inches possible for Tuesday. Slight chip showers before 9 a.m. Mostly south with 82 degrees and west about 3 to 6 miles an hour, just to 20% for Tuesday night. Slight chip showers after 1 a.m. Mostly cloudy low about 56 degrees and top about 5 miles an hour coming in the evening, just basically 20% for Wednesday. Slight chip showers mostly south with 81 degrees and calming coming in westbound 6 miles in the afternoon, just to 20% for Wednesday night. Mostly cloudy about 51 degrees and not and variable wind. For Thursday, mostly south about 81, low 53 degrees and light north wind. For Friday, south about 84, low 60 degrees and calming coming southwest about 5 miles an hour in the afternoon. Saturday, mostly south about 87, low 65 degrees, southwest about 3 to 7 miles an hour, just features 0%. And for Sunday, chance of showers part to south 84 degrees and west about 3 to 5 miles an hour, just 40%. Right now, Norton, it is 64 degrees and light rain. That's me for the Peter Channel Morning News on this August 17th, 2020 on a Monday morning. My viewers, hope you have a good morning and a good day. Stay safe, be positive, be healthy, be well. Hope you have a wonderful morning.